Hey folks, Pastor Mark here. Talking about Good Friday. It's Good Friday. I wanted to bring up the importance of several things like this. Good Friday. What I want to say is it's God's fix to a problem that we had. For years, man was on trial, and man had said to God, how do we atone for our sins? How in the world can we ever atone for all the sins that we do, that our nation does, that mankind does? How can we atone for that? We were on trial. So God had a temporary solution, a workaround. God said the shedding of an animal's blood, meaning a lamb or a turtle dove, would temporarily cover the sin of a person or cover the sin of a nation. So for years, animals were sacrificed. Now, this was never meant to be a permanent solution. In the Garden of Eden, when speaking to the serpent, at the time when he rebuked and chastised the serpent, Adam and Eve, he spoke about a solution. He said to the serpent, he will crush your head and you will strike his heel. See, the crafty serpent that he spoke to was going to win temporarily by striking the body of Jesus Christ. He would riddle his body with all kinds of pain, but Jesus rose again to crush Satan's plan to derail the entire race away from God. Good Friday was God's solution. The only sacrifice that once and for all that would bring mankind into a right relationship with God hangs on that cross. See, we discuss that salvation is free, and so let me not use churchy words. God said you can get your sin debt erased, and that's free. But it wasn't free to him. The cost was everything. See, God knows what it feels like to lose a child. God knows what it feels like to have everybody that you love and care for turn against you. God knows what it feels like to be angry, to be hurt, to be jealous. Never think that your feelings are something you need to hide or shy away from. Jesus knew what physical pain felt like as well as emotional pain. He knew what it was like to get his beard plucked out. He knew what it was like for a nail to crush the median nerve of his wrist. So every time he pushed himself up to get a breath, pain shot through his entire body. He knew what it was like to be beaten, to be slapped, to be spat upon. He went through all of that. And he did that because that was the solution. That is why it's a Good Friday. It was far from free for him. But it's free for you and it's free for me. It's like a gift given to us. It cost him everything, and yet we can accept it for free. He gives the solution to our trial of how do I measure up? How do I wipe my ledger clean? How do I get the red off of my record? It's real simple. There's nothing you can do here. You're never going to be good enough to outweigh all the bad that you've done in this lifetime. But God, on Good Friday, had a solution. The sacrifice of a perfect, spotless, blemishless sacrifice. Sinless. He lived 33 and a third years and never once sinned. And if anybody was worthy to go to that cross, it would have been me. But instead, he chose to make Good Friday out of this day. Nothing can measure up to what's already been done right here on the cross of Calvary. This is Good Friday. But what about the coronavirus? My life's falling apart. Why would God allow mankind to suffer? Why is there evil in this world? Why is there heartache? And why is there suffering in this world? Somewhere in the past few hundred years, we've turned it from us being on trial to God being on trial. God, why would you? Why would you allow evil in this world? Why would you allow suffering in this world? Why would you allow? See, that all happened with that decision back in the Garden of Eden. That all happened when sin was allowed into this world, and it's been here ever since, compounding on itself over centuries and centuries. So we've now placed God on trial. Well, God could do one simple thing and erase all of that. He could take away our free will and our free choice. That'd be an easy way to do it. Just make us robots who just did whatever he wanted us to do. But his solution is to allow us to live our lives and still make our choices, but to give us Good Friday, which cost him everything, to give us life freely. It's still the solution. Whether God's on trial or we are, the solution is still Good Friday. Where's God in the midst of all this? Well, it's in the hands of his people. It's in the hands of the people in this county who are trying to put together 3,000 surgical masks to give out to the community and anybody who needs them. Or to the fast food person who's giving away free certificates so that people can come who are hurting or can't eat can come and eat at his establishment. It's in the churches and the people who are showing up and helping at food banks. It's in the nurse who keeps working in the emergency room even though she can't go home to see her immunocompromised child because she might give him coronavirus and he might die, but she still shows up for work every day. It's in the churches and the people who showed up not just now, but in Puerto Rico after the hurricane, who showed up in Louisiana after Katrina, who showed up in New York City after 9/11. That's where God is. It's in the hospital system that we have, because you know why? It started during the Black Plague. They implored people to leave Europe, and they did in droves, but the Christians said, we are staying. We will establish a way to care for the people who need us. That's where hospital system came from. So the answer is still Good Friday. God is in the hands of his people and the feet of his people. I pray that this Sunday that you'll tune in to one of the many, many services that are going to be online. I love you, and remember that this was always the answer. God bless.